question is, how many star players will be leaving as well? Top defender Ciro Ferrara is one after 17 years and nearly 250 Serie A performances with the club. Ace attacker Daniel Fonseca is another. He's snatched some great goals in his 2 seasons with the club. With 15 already, the Uruguayan needs just one more to complete a half-century of league goals. Can he get that one today before his almost certain move to Milan or Juventus? Bankrupt Napoli also look like being forced to release their Swedish World Cup star, Jonas Törn. And he's another determined to make an impact today if fully fit. But as the off-field problems have mounted, the team has stuck together well on the field. Just one defeat in the last 5 games, putting them into the UEFA Cup frame. This late surge began with that monumental win over champions Milan. And last weekend, they had too much firepower for understrength Parma. Renato Busso getting a fine opener, and Ferrara signing off in front of his own fans with a second. Surprisingly, there were only 2 goals when the sides clashed earlier in the season. Roy opened the account for Foggia, and Giovanni Bia scoring a 50th minute equaliser. History favours Napoli, but who'll come out on top today to ensure a UEFA Cup place next season? To find out, join us after the break.
Welcome back to the Pino Zaccaria Stadium in Foggia for the last Football Italia of the season. We hope to be going out with a bang with our live game between Foggia and Napoli, which is coming up very shortly. I must just say, though, the atmosphere isn't tremendously good right now here in Foggia. I was mentioning before that there have been thousands of Napoli fans outside the stadium. They've arrived without tickets, but helpfully with large pieces of stick, which they're beating people around the head who aren't from Naples with. They're beating people who are not from Naples around the head with them anyway. I think you get the picture. Here inside the stadium is not a particularly pretty picture either. There have been lots of stuff thrown between the 2 sets of fans, a couple of pitch invasions too, both by the Napoli Tifosi and also the Foggia Tifosi. In fact, the only group that hasn't made a show of strength so far is the police, but hopefully they'll be getting around to that sooner or later. Particularly keenly felt match this, as I think you can gather, not only because it's a kind of derby of the south, the 2 strongest teams in southern Italy coming together here, but also, as we mentioned, because there's a place in UEFA possibly up for grabs this afternoon. 25,000 here inside the stadium. They're beginning to make a noise now. Hopefully the game will be getting underway on time, despite the problems we've been having, as I say, with people on the pitch. But anyway, with the teams getting ready to come out now, I think it's time to hand over to our commentary team, Ray Wilkins and Peter Brackley.
Thank you, James, and a warm welcome, everyone, then, to our final Serie A offering of the season. Still issues to be settled. And for both these 2 teams we're featuring today, this is certainly not an occasion when they'll simply go through the motions. Foggia in 9th place, and Napoli, who are 3 positions but just 1 point above them, have everything still to play for this afternoon, with the chance of gaining European entry next season. For Foggia, it will be for the first time in their history, and for Napoli, well, a UEFA Cup place will provide a vital injection of funds to a financially crippled club. Well, Foggia's enterprising coach Zeman has selected this side for his final match in charge before his move to Lazio. Suspensions have cost him the services of Argentine defender Chabot and midfielder Di Biagio. Mancini, the regular goalkeeper, is still out injured, but on the plus side, Bianchini returns after a 1-match ban. Up front, Zeman has opted for the combination of Kolivanov, the Russian, and Mandelli, with leading goalscorer Brian Roy, the Dutch international, left on the bench today. Well, Napoli aren't quite at full strength. Their highly promising midfield player Pecchia misses this one through suspension, but they do have Swedish international Jonas Törn fit again after injury. Fonseca has the main striker's role as usual, seeking his first goal in 7 games today, and there's a place in midfield for Pari in preference to Carini. Only 1 point separating the 4 clubs still vying for UEFA Cup qualification. Now, the other 2, interestingly, Roma and Torino, are also in conflict on this final day. Whether it's 1 place or 2 on offer depends on Parma's success or otherwise in next Wednesday's European Cup Winners' Cup final against Arsenal. And intriguing finale then to the season in Foggia, and both teams in the Pino Zaccaria Stadium will be very anxious for the 2 points that would greatly enhance their European prospects. Alongside me then in the commentary position today is Ray Wilkins. I think Ray looking forward to this one.
Yes, definitely. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I am, Peter, in actual fact. We've got two sides here. Napoli, who have scored 40 goals and conceded 35. Foggia have scored 46 and conceded 45. So by the sounds of it, we should have a couple of goals to see this afternoon. The pitch looks absolutely immaculate. It's a perfect day for having a game of football, especially in the deep south of Italy. And I'm really looking forward to this one, Peter.
No Brian Roy in the Foggia side, which is something of a surprise, although he doesn't always play away from home, but at home you'd expect him to be in the lineup.
Yes, quite definitely. Brian Roy is a very, very talented player. Scored 2 goals on the last home game against Genoa, but didn't play last week, and they had a fantastic victory at Torino, 4 goals to 1. So the coaches decided to stick with the same outfit.
And the one slight surprise in the Napoli side, Fausto Pari, the old Sampdoria player, has been included at the expense of Eugenio Carini. I would think Pari with a marking job probably today.
Yes, possibly so. Carini being the less experienced guy as well. This is a very, very big game for Napoli. They've had a bit of a torrid old season, what with their financial situation, but they've managed to claw themselves into a possible UEFA place. So he's probably gone for a little bit of experience as well, and possibly a marking job as well on Bresciani.
Well, certainly plenty of support for Napoli today. And who would have thought earlier in the season they would be fighting for a place in Europe? It seemed it would be more likely they would be bidding to stave off relegation. Marcello Nicchi is the referee today. A banker from Tuscany. It's his first game in charge of a match featuring Foggia this season. He might well be exhausted at the end of it. They play at such a pace rate.
Yes, they're actually good to watch, aren't they? We've seen them on a number of occasions, and they really do fly around the field. They help each other out all over the place. And they're one of those sides that are either going to win 5-4 or get beat 6-5, which is good for us, but not so good for the heart of their coach, I wouldn't have thought.
Well, we've got a side of him then, Zdenek Zeman, who's heading off for Lazio. But he's had a fairly free rein with Foggia. If they concede a few goals, nobody seems to worry too much. They shrug their shoulders. They won't be quite so sympathetic, though, at Lazio, will they?
Definitely not, no. Lazio are a side that they're expected to win things and win championships. At Foggia, he isn't expected to do anything, but he's worked a miracle there. He's done exceptionally well, but it will be a totally different story once the real pressure starts to tell at Lazio. But good luck to him.
And he was just receiving there a tube of sweets, which apparently he receives before every game from one fan in particular. And then he shoots him. Right on cue. And the substitutes for Napoli then today. Tarantino, who's coming on the bench as a defender. Bresciani, who's the striker among those players in reserve. Two teams then preparing for the kick-off. Plenty at stake today. And also, of course, some relegation battles going on in Serie A. We'll keep you posted on developments there as well. All the half-time scores and significant ones as we receive them. Foggia in their familiar striped shirts. The referee, I think, is he waiting for the ball? No, they've got the ball. I'm not sure what he's waiting for.
Oh, I wouldn't have a clue what he's waiting for, Peter, but I think we're just about to get underway. It really does look a smashing setting, doesn't it? The pitch is in great condition.
Foggia have hauled themselves out of trouble. It did seem for a while that they might be heading down towards the relegation zone. But some improved results of late have taken them away from the danger area and right up towards possibly a European place for the first time ever. Here's Di Canio. Stepped on to Fonseca, who will have Bianchini marking him today. Fonseca wanting one more then for the half-century. But without a goal, as I was saying earlier, for quite a few weeks now. Here's Pari, drafted back into the Napoli side. Member of the Sampdoria team that won the championship a couple of years ago. On by Gambaro. But safely through to Mauro Bachin, who's keeping goal for Foggia today. He's the reserve goalkeeper, with Mancini out. He's played the last 5 now. And And in his first game back in the side, he led in 6 in the match against Sampdoria. And his last appearance was on the final day of last season when he also led in 6 against Fiorentina. Here's Bodin. It was Di Bari who cleared. And the flag's up for offside.
Bit of a shame as well. Kolivanov it was that had drifted offside. It was a smashing ball from Giovanni Stroppa, just lifting it with the outside of his right foot over the top of the defender for the oncoming winger. Started off with a bit of a pace though, Peter, isn't it? It looks a very hot day. I don't think they'll be able to keep this sort of pace up.
Fonseca. Just about withstanding the challenge. On by Busso. Here's Turn. Now Foggia's turned the stream up, and they haven't come out too successfully. And they had to be rescued then by their goalkeeper Bakin.
Great goalkeeping, Peter, that was. That was an excellent run. I think it was Bodin that was breaking through. Obviously, Napoli have done their homework. That offside trap of Foggia's wasn't going to work. It was a brilliantly timed run, but it was exceptional goalkeeping as well, reading the situation very nicely.
And Busso with a foul then on Stroppa. He was a very influential player in the Foggia side, Giovanni Stroppa. Talked that he may be going back to Milan next season. He's only on loan. Having played first for Lazio and now with Foggia. And his form has been such that he's won 4 international caps this season. This is Di Canio now, trying to slip the tackle of Caini.
Yes, he was a very well-respected player when he was first at Milan. He came out of that crop of Maldini and Costa Curta, and of the 3, he really did look as if he was going to be an exceptional player. He's taken a little bit longer than the other 2, but he's obviously coming into a bit of a form now.
Di Canio with the free kick for Napoli. Up by Mandelli, who was being preferred up front then to Brian Roy. Parry with the throw for Napoli. So Stroppa and those others would have been juniors at the club when you were there?
Yes, they were, mate, yeah.
Didn't mean you were a junior, obviously.
Very talented bunch of guys.
Almost 80 degrees out on the pitch. It's very hot for the players today. Certainly for Foggia with the pace they play at. Very exciting side. Stroppa taking the throw. Kolivanov. Bill for handball. Referee says play on. Well, they're at full stretch at the back, Napoli, but they survive. On by Nicoli. Seno.
We could actually be watching a British League match here, couldn't we?
So it's frantic.
It really is frantic stuff, and Foggia are unique in Italy. They really do play the game at a really frantic old pace, and they've really set about this one.
Turn. Fonseca. Free kick to Napoli. Nicoli, the offender. Nicoli is slotting in at right back, but has often played in midfield as well. One of many players brought into the Foggia squad by Zeman from lower divisions. He has scouts out scoring the lower divisions every week. He comes up with a gem or 2. But now he's moving on to Lazio. Paul Gascoigne will be watching this with interest. Maybe Lazio will change their style and play a bit more hectically.
I think they possibly will, Peter. Yeah, he's obviously had a bit of success with the way he plays, and they've got a great unit. They're very unified in the field. They really do get about and help each other out, whether they be defensively or in an attacking manner. And you know, hopefully it can instill a little bit of that into Lazio, because they do have the talent to be an excellent team.
Di Canio brought down. He has a free roll. He need to run where he wants to in the Napoli side. And he's done so with some measure of success this season, and of course scored that marvellous goal against Milan to enable Napoli to become only the 2nd team to beat the champions this season.
Yeah, I think it was a good decision by the referee. Di Canio did ever so well to knock it over the defender, but I don't think he was fouled.
Knocked down by Fonseca, but only as far as Caini. Stroppa. Kolivanov is being pursued by Parry. Ibari, Seno, the captain, who's had his problems with injuries this season. And as by all accounts impressed Inter, there's talk of a move there for him in the summer. In goes Seno now, getting the better of Jonas Turn. One for Fonseca to chase. He surely used his arm then. Bianchini trying to resist him. And Fonseca, well, I can't believe he's appealing. His arm clearly pushed the ball down.
Yes, there was no question about that, Peter. It was his right arm that come across and seemed to claw the ball down. The referee was quite correct.
Kolivanov, the Russian. Up towards Mandelli. Away, though, by Bia, who's the sweeper in the Napoli side. It goes Xhaka. Kolivanov. Foggia's attempt at goal, that breaks up. Shot from Stropper. Di Canio now. Looking very lively in this early phase. Gambaro away down the right. Fonseca was waiting in the middle. And it's a corner to Napoli.
That was good point. It was an excellent break out of defence there from Di Canio. He really is a live wire. He's come into a bit of a form since his move from Juventus on loan. And he's really starting to look an exceptional player.
Well, the shot harmlessly over the bar. Napoli have lost only one of their last 5. But they haven't been doing so well away from home in recent matches. 4 away wins, and 3 of those were before the halfway mark, including that excellent win which we featured live against Parma, which I would think will go down as one of their best displays, if not the best display they produced. And of course they did so well against Milan. Stropper. Good anticipation, which sends Napoli on the charge again. Di Canio. It was Ferrara who'd won it from the back, and he'd continued forward. Play on, says the referee. And Foggia are doing so to good effect with Mandelli. And that was a very important challenge then.
I don't think the referee's too keen on Di Canio. That's the second time he's been bundled over, or seemed to be bundled over. Now he's going to book someone for protesting. I think he's brought in. But Di Canio went through then, it did appear as if he was fouled badly in actual fact, but the referee waved play on. And from the attack after that, Foggia were very unlucky not to go in front, with Mandelli having his shot charged down.
Here's Stropper with the corner. Away by Turn. Not sure whether it was Pari or Bourdin that he waved the yellow card at. It was certainly Pari who was complaining initially. Kolivanov did well there to work an opening for himself. Ibari, on from Xhaka. Well read though by Gambaro. On by Bianchini, off goes Kolivanov. Policed again by Fausto Pari, who was such a vital player for Sampdoria, an unsung hero really in their championship team, but he did a very good job for them. And surprisingly has been out of favour for a long time with Napoli. He came in for the Milan game, and that was his first appearance for a year. It's Ferrara here having words with the referee, and his last match for Napoli, moving on either to Parma or to Juventus next season. Ferrara to end 17 years his association with the club. And what an outstanding servant he has been to Napoli, featuring in 2 championship sides.
Yes, he really has been a super player for them, Peter. A great man-to-man marker, probably one of the best in Italian football.
Slipped on by Turn, but given away. Mandelli firmly tackled and illegally by Ferrara. Mandelli was very quick up front. Hasn't had too many opportunities from the start for Foggia this season. Just a couple of goals. But getting the vote ahead of Brian Roy. Here's Caini now. Kolivanov, that's a great turn then by Kolivanov. But his path to goal was quickly blocked. Polivanov. Well, he has certainly been prominent early on. I think the one criticism about him is that he doesn't score enough goals. Just 6 from Polivanov this season. But he does look a very useful player.
He looks very bright, doesn't he? He's looking to get on with the thing, and Stropper there was very bright as well, taking the quick early throw to try and get him in. It was a little bit unfortunate that his first touch wasn't slightly better.
Fonseca catching Bianchini. And they're having a right old tussle, these two. Di Canio now, again looking to run at the Foggia defence. Fonseca very nearly got through. Di Canio. Now Busso. Scored that classic goal last week, Busso. One of our goals of the month. And we'll be seeing those goals during the half-time interval. Well, maybe the heat will take its toll later on, but there's no let-up in the pace at this stage. Must have been hot playing yesterday too in England, Ray.
Yes, it was very hot playing yesterday, but old Gambaro there, he likes to get forward, doesn't he? He's found himself in that right wing spot on 2 occasions now.
And I gather you hit the bar yesterday, although I expect most of the players did after that result.
No, it was an exceptional save, I must say. Young Hammond had a great game in goal for Swindon.
Now Mandelli leading a spirited attack again by Foggia. I had the pleasure of watching your brother play yesterday.
Very nice too.
Dean playing for Brighton at Reading with those 2 youngsters, Jimmy Case and Steve Foster. Jimmy Case, who of course played for Liverpool on the day the cot was opened. Now Biar with the free kick. Di Canio. Oh, the decision has gone against Napoli again. Di Canio, who has looked very, very lively, but as Ray was saying earlier on, the referee none too convinced by some of his antics.
Yeah, we see him go through 2 players. He was unlucky, he actually trod on the ball, but manages to squeeze one out. And I think it was Fonseca just going a little bit too high on the defender.
Oh, great turn by Bresciani. Slipped on by Bordin. Di Canio. Free kick to Napoli. They do commit so many fouls, Foggia, with the pace they play at. And they've had 99 bookings this season, which is really down to the style of play as much as anything.
It's absolutely incredible.
Was it 99?
99, something like 13 sending offs, isn't it? It's unbelievable stuff.
13 dismissals, 99 bookings. They're a very competitive side, and maybe at times a little naive defensively. And they do go herring into tackles, playing at this frenetic pace. Fonseca now, caught by Xhaka's challenge.
But look at them there, look, there's 5 of them working hard to get around the ball and back people up. It's that was just a late tackle, that one, on board in. But they actually work so hard to get around each other and help each other out.
Gambaro. Fonseca's header, time though for Nicoli. Played out to Seno. Interception was from Jonas Tern, who may well be moving, well, certainly will be moving, but maybe going to Juventus next season. A lot of sorting out to be done in the summer. So desperately short of money, Napoli, they have to sell players on. Now Caini, here's Stropper. Nice little 1-2 with the referee, which didn't come off in his favour. Turn to Di Canio. I wonder, will he be going back to Juventus? Of course, Zeman will be, or rather, Lippi will be the coach there at Juventus, so maybe Di Canio won't mind now, but I don't think he wanted to play for Trapattoni again.
Yes, it's strange, isn't it? Trapattoni obviously is one of the most well-respected coaches in world football. It's a shame that Di Canio was a little bit disrespectful to him through the media.
And that to put it mildly. Free kick then to Foggia. We take it by Seno. Or maybe not. Xhaka now taking over. See Xhaka now, bending it over. Fisted away by Italia.
Yeah, good fist out as well, Peter. It was a very nice area in which to hit that ball. It was a nicely taken free kick.
Up by Dibali, collected by Seno. Driving through from the midfield. Wide of him now is Nicoli. Here's Xhaka, filling in for Di Biagio in midfield. On by Stropper. Down goes Kolivanov, somewhat theatrically. Well, a kick's been given. Shades of Jurgen Klinsmann there for a moment.
Yeah, I don't think it was half as bad as Klinsmann,
No.
though, Peter. He was an absolute disgrace in the week, Klinsmann. But Cannavaro just getting a little bit too tight there with Kolivanov. Kolivanov already did him on one turn about 5 minutes ago. And so he decided that he'd get a little bit too tight up his backside there.
So maybe a problem or two here for Giuseppe Tagliatella, the goalkeeper of Napoli.
Yeah, it's going back to that Klinsmann thing, Peter. It's a great shame that people are like that. You know, Costa Curta there, he's works very hard for Milan, you know, and actually reach a final, and the poor chap can't play because someone acts as disgracefully as Klinsmann did. Great shame.
And as a fellow professional, it must be very sickening for you to see that.
I think it's the worst thing in football at the moment, Peter. I really do. People trying to get each other booked and sent off. Not very pleasant.
Meantime, the referee is, I think, just about happy now that the wall is far enough away. It starts off to Xhaka, straight into that wall. Dibali. Nicoli, the linesman was waving him on.
I think he gave it for handball. Peter,
Yeah.
as he went to chest it down, it looks as if his outstretched arm takes over. Yeah, I think he's just about right as well.
Just hearing of the first goal of the afternoon, scored by Casiraghi of Lazio, away to Sampdoria in Genoa. Sampdoria 0, Lazio 1. Pierluigi Casiraghi, the Italian international, has given Lazio the lead. Third against fourth, that one today. Good news for Gazza if he's watching. Hope the recovery is coming on well. Xhaka. Dangerous ball in search of Mandelli. And some very alert goalkeeping then by Tagliatella.
Yeah, read the situation beautifully there, Tagliatella in goal, and it was a great take because that wasn't a bad ball over the top of the defender.
Turn. Poured in. One for Fonseca to pursue with his lightning pace. And he was threatening to go clear then until he was clattered. Maybe not quite as bad as it looked, but he did appear to be caught.
Yes, I think he was caught, Peter, and he's got his just deserves there. He's got his free kick, but he really is a player to watch, Fonseca. He works so hard for the side. He plays up there all on his own. In actual fact, he didn't give a free kick, he gave the corner kick. Works very, very hard up there on his own.
Icanio will take the kick. Busso in there hoping. Ferrara has come up from the back. There's Ferrara with a header. Just too far though for Fonseca. And Bordin failing to keep it in play.
Yes, I'd imagine he'd be a little bit disappointed with that header. It was a free header, and I think he tried to pick out Fonseca, but just overheaded it.
Scored his second goal of the season last week, Ferrara, in his final home appearance for Napoli. On by Busso. Good running here by Fonseca. What a strike too! Beaten away by Bakin.
Yeah, that was wonderful football, Peter, wasn't it? There's that run he makes again. He really does make some fantastic runs. Yeah, he's got Bianchini picking him up, who's a big chap. Doesn't look as if he's got immense amount of pace. Look at that shot on the turn. That was a great volley from Fonseca.
Throw that to Napoli. Taken by Di Canio. This is he now. Trying to shake off Bresciani's challenge. Seno comes in strongly as well. And Busso has won it back. Now Turn. Good effort by Jonas Turn. Well, he's only scored once for Napoli in the 2 seasons he's been with them, but he wasn't far off the target then.
Yes, that was a good effort, wasn't it? You could see he had one thing in his mind. He was going to have a pop at goal, and it was a good effort. The back end, I think, would have had that covered.
This is Xhaka for Foggia. No goals, but opportunities at both ends, and it's Mandelli now. Tripped by Gambaro. At the halfway stage in the first half. Now a goal has been scored by Sampdoria, so it's 1-1 now in the Luigi Ferrari Stadium. The goal by Serena. Mistake then by Bresciani. Busso. Here's Bodin. That goal for Serena, incidentally, his first of the season for Sampdoria. And a goal for Cremonese. In their match, Desotti has scored. That's against Genoa. Two teams just above the fringe of the relegation zone, really. Mandelli battling. And he's the man who's been penalised. I think, no, he's given it to Foggia.
I think it was the right decision as well, Peter. Mandelli did appear to be in good control of the ball and was bustled over.
So a chance here then for Foggia. They've headed over the bar. Goal kick.
Good ball in. Saino did ever so well there to get that header in. That was an excellent ball in from the left foot there, swinging in towards goal. And Saino made up his mind that he was going to get in front of him and just headed it over the top. Good effort.
One match, incidentally, has already been played this weekend. It was on Friday. Parma 0, Piacenza 0. So that's a very valuable point for Piacenza in their efforts to stay up. And they're now out of the relegation places. And if Reggiana lose today, Piacenza will be safe. Reggiana away to Milan. So no easy fixture for them. Udinese, well, they've got a tough one too, away to Juventus. Very tight down there at the bottom, with Atalanta and Lecce already relegated. Two others to go down as well.
I think Parma might have had other things on their mind, actually, Peter. Namely the Gunners. And good luck to the Arsenal if you're watching, guys. All the very best to you.
I think they played about 8 of their expected side, Parma. But as you say, I'm sure, like Arsenal yesterday, would have had their minds on that game rather than the league fixture.
Yes, that's right.
Well, it's an important league game here. Gambaro with the cross. Comfortably plucked out of the air by Bakin, who hasn't let a goal in at home this season. Gambaro now. Bodin with the cross towards Di Canio. And the presence of Nicoli just did enough to deter him. And despite the obvious indignation of Di Canio, it's a goal kick to Foggia.
Yes, I don't think Di Canio thinks it's going to be his day today with this referee. He's standing for nothing. And it's a bit of a 50-51, isn't it? It could have gone either way.
Xhaka, wide to Caini, who's been sent off 4 times this season. So he has his disciplinary problems. Ferrara. We've got marauding forward again, but to no avail. Caini. Does love to get forward, Caini. Trying to slide it into the path of Mandelli. Fonseca now. There's Fonseca again, taking on Di Bari. Still Fonseca. He's got Di Canio in oceans of space away to his left.
Yeah, he's going to book Fonseca for that. Fonseca's just run straight into Nicoli. And playing for the penalty, and he's booked him for it. And Di Canio, if he's not careful, he's going to get booked as well.
Well, Fonseca was threatening to go it alone. He had Di Canio spare away to his left, as you'll see here at the bottom of the picture.
It's a shame in actual fact that he doesn't have more confidence with his right foot, because he was clean through on goal on his right side, and he had to come back and check back onto his left side, which cost him valuable ground and valuable seconds as well.
Well, Nicoli was certainly blocking Fonseca, which is the point I'm sure he's trying to make, but some of these players do dive around, and the referee just isn't going to be convinced by it.
I don't think he's having any of it, is he, the referee? But it's a good little thing for if there's any young lads out there watching in actual fact, and you do favour one foot, just try and kick with the other foot as well, because in a situation where Fonseca found himself then, if he'd have gone on his right side, I'm quite sure he would at least have got a strike in on goal. And he's just having the confidence to kick with the both feet.
Don't argue with referees either.
Yes, unfortunately, we're all guilty of that.
Oh, not you, surely. Now, Stropper, again showing good pace, outside of the foot. And Italia clearing with his feet. Great cross in, though, by Stropper, swerving it over.
Yeah, quite right, Peter. It was an excellent cross, fabulous technique. And it was a very, very good clearance from the goalkeeper. Not an easy ball to come for, and he did very well.
He's had a very consistent season, Italia. Not having to make a save this time.
Yeah, Parry asking the linesman if he was offside, and he was offside. Napoli were holding the line on the edge of the 18-yard box. I think we will see the introduction of Brian Roy, probably later on in the proceedings, Peter. Mandelli, yeah, he does look very bright, but I think Brian Roy just has that little bit more guile than Mandelli, and hopefully we will see him involved at some stage.
Well, he scored 12 goals this season, Brian Roy, which is comfortably his best tally. I think his previous best was only 5 from his Ajax days. The goals are a lot easier to come by in Holland than they are in Italy. It's Sado now.
Yes, I think you've only got to ask Mr. Bergkamp, haven't you, about that situation. Bergkamp scored goals at will in Holland, but since coming to Italy, very, very difficult for him to score goals.
Well, Seno was certainly threatening then for Foggia, who have kept up their attacking traditions today. Haven't found a goal yet, nor of Napoli, 0-0.
Stropper appears to be the man, Peter, doesn't he, for Foggia at the moment. He's very bright, very alert. He's laid on some lovely passes. And if anyone's going to open up this Napoli defence, I think it could be Stropper at the moment.
Well, there's certainly a lot of movement and mobility about Foggia, but no finish so far to unsettle Napoli. Just above them in the table in this hunt for a place in Europe next season. Well, some refreshment needed as well, I would think, as much as treatment. It is so very, very warm today. It's Lippi, the coach of Napoli, who's heading for Juventus next season. With confirmation, of course, that Trapattoni is going to Bayern Munich, the Juventus current coach. Karlivanov, bundled off it though by Parry, who's such a hard-working, hustling player. Now Gambaro. Hughes coming into another goal. And it's that other match affecting the UEFA Cup places. It's Roma 1, Torino 0. Balbo the scorer. It's his 11th of the season, the Argentine striker. So Roma with the upper hand early on, all square here. Caini now, again marauding down the left. Biar, a little careless, and he wasn't too pleased with himself.
No, he wasn't, was he? He's a bit lucky he's not booked there as well, really, because he booted the ball out of the ground nearly there, and this referee doesn't look as if he's going to stand for any nonsense.
He also kicked the hoarding, which won't have gone down too well with the chap who paid for it to be there.
Quite right.
Stropper preparing to take the kick when he can get the ball back.
Yeah, it's in the moat, Peter, that ball. That's,
is it?
Yeah, I think that's a lost one. There's a little moat that goes around that ground, I think.
Stropper's kick now. Difficult one for the goalkeeper, and he just about managed to knock it over the bar.
Yes, I think he took his eye off the ball. He saw Seno coming in on him and took his eye off the ball momentarily, but it was a tremendous corner kick from Stropper. Really whipped into the 6-yard box.
Kolivanov on the near post here, but it's turned away. And Cannavaro just shepherding it out under the challenge from Bresciani.
He hadn't seen much of Bresciani this afternoon. It was a lovely little turn from him halfway through the half. But apart from that, he really hasn't been involved, and he really is one of the linchpins of this Foggia outfit. Really does get about the field and perform.
Italia, who's kept 3 clean sheets in the last 5 games now. On by Gambaro, but only as far as Caini. This is Kolivanov. Linking well with Seno. Caini had made the run for him. Down by Di Bari. Only as far as Busso. He's had a good little spell in the Napoli side. He's played the last 4 games now. Hope he can continue in this one.
I'm sure he will. He'll be up and running about in a minute. It was a foul, yes, but I don't think it was as bad as that. But he was one guy that really looked as if he was going to do it for Sampdoria. Yeah, we saw the foul again, and I think he did actually tread on his leg, but I don't think it would be hurting as much as Busso's making it.
You old cynic, you.
But he really looked as if he was going to make it with Sampdoria, didn't he? He really looked a very, very good striker, but obviously they've got loads of riches there at Sampdoria, players, I mean, and he found it very tough to break in.
Well, he's found it hard too, getting into the Napoli side. He's been a reserve for much of the season. Having started, of course, as a 16-year-old for Juventus. Now, Bio with the free kick. Laid back by Turn. It was Bresciani with the interception. And as Ray was saying, he hasn't really made an impact so far, Bresciani. Normally one of their most productive players. That's good defending by Napoli, by Pari. Well, that was obstruction at the very least.
He was a bit greedy there, Stropper. I think Bresciani was, yeah, I think Kolivanov's telling him as well. If he'd have played it first time, I think Bresciani was in. But he tried to go round him and was fouled. He was a little bit greedy.
Kolivanov hovering around the ball. Stropper is there too. Still, the wall has got to go further back. Kolivanov shaping up for a kick. Xhaka took one earlier, but he's well out of this one. It's Kolivanov, and it's very disappointing.
Yeah, they're claiming that it got a touch off the Napoli wall, but it wasn't the best free kick in the world from Kolivanov. The timing didn't seem to be there between the roll of Stropper and the shot of Kolivanov.
As I was saying earlier on, it's the one part of his game that he really has let himself down with his finishing. Ten minutes of the first half to go. Stropper's touch, Kolivanov now. Two teams who finished level on points last season. Napoli ahead on goal difference. And only 1 point dividing them at the end of this campaign. Well, this is the final day of the season. Foggia have certainly been impressive at home. Just the 2 defeats, and the last of those against Sampdoria was some 5 months ago. Here's Turn now for Napoli. Ferrara. Seeking out Gambaro. It's a Napoli throw, which Di Canio will take. Gambaro away by Caini, and then off Di Canio. Xhaka now. Hitting the early ball. Excellent 1-2 to Bresciani. Now, was that over the line? No, he's just kept it in, the goalkeeper. What a pass, though, to Bresciani.
Yeah, it was a magnificent pass from Xhaka. He's actually looked quite impressive, Xhaka. He sits there in front of the back four. Nothing fancy, just gets hold of it and keeps the game moving for Foggia. Well, that was an excellent pass.
On by Busso. Not sure what he was thinking of there, though. Nicoli. This is Xhaka, caught by Bordin's tackle. Xhaka again. And this time, very inaccurate with his ball. Away comes Turn.
Di Canio's not happy again. He's made a run there. It's very hot out there and rather given away unnecessarily, really.
Napoli throw. Some of the early fire has died down a little. They began at such a pace. The heat clearly taking its effect. Busso. Fonseca. He's onside here, Gambaro. Again, the cross too close to the goalkeeper.
It was excellent goalkeeping as well, Peter. He read the situation very well and come out and took a fine take.
Good header by Ferrara. Di Canio now. Neatly into the path of Yara's Turn. Fonseca. Up go the hands appealing, and the free kick given duly to Foggia. Bianchini is the man with a job of curtailing those runs of Fonseca this afternoon. Away by Di Bari. Fonseca was lurking behind him. Now Stroppa. Gambaro there was in the way, helped up by Ferrara. Cannavaro, the Italian under-21 international. He's had a busy schedule lately, featuring for the under-21s in their European success. Xhaka. On by Nicoli. Easily read, though, by Bia.
Yes, we've seen this situation many times before with Napoli, but they sit back, they leave Fonseca up the front, and Arcanio to go and join him as much as he can, but they just block the middle of the field, and defensively they're very sound. They hold that penalty box and don't budge, and they just hope to hit teams on the break. It's very difficult for Foggia to break them down. That's why I think the introduction of Brian Roy, someone that could possibly get round the outside of them and whip in a few crosses, may cause them a few problems.
Seno. Running it through the middle, looking for Bresciani. Now, what could Kalivanov do here? Onto his favoured left foot. Seno. This is Nicoli. 5 minutes of the first half to go. Foggia 0, Napoli 0. Xhaka. Again, it's inaccurate pass. Meanwhile, 2 other scores just coming in. And it's Atalanta 1, Inter 0. Inter, who've had a very tough end to the season. Orlandini, the goal there for Atalanta. And relegated Lecce 0, Cagliari 1. Oliveira with his 12th of the season. Cagliari in 13th place. Not totally out of trouble. And remember, it's Sampdoria 1, Lazio 1. This is Kolivanov. Outmaneuvered though by Bia. He's actually had a very good season, Bia, at the back for Napoli in the sweeper role. On loan from Parma. Out by Turn. Picked up though by Xhaka. Offside. Disappointing then, frustration for Foggia. That looked very promising.
Yes, that was. It was an excellent pass from Xhaka. He saw the run of stopper very early and just lifted it into the space. We can see he was just offside. But nevertheless, it was a good pass and a good run from stopper.
So still Foggia without a goal. Only the top five rather, have scored more than them in Serie A this season. Can't as yet find a way past this man, Giuseppe Italia. Bodin down for Fonseca. Now Stropper. Oh, it just bobbled awkwardly then for it, very unkindly. Gave Turn the chance to turn defence into attack. Down goes to Canio, little hug and a kiss with Nicoli.
Here comes the 100th, I think, Peter.
Oh yes, the 100th yellow card. Indeed it is. That's it then, that's the century.
That's absolutely amazing, isn't it? 100 yellow cards in one season, my goodness.
Pierluigi Nicoli, the man who has been cautioned. Just 2 minutes of the first half to go, and that'll be a Foggia throw. Surely. No, the referee's given it the other way. I can't believe that.
No, I can't either. It should have been a Foggia throw.
Di Canio. Napoli endeavouring to end the half with a flourish. They can't do so. Not from that attack anyway. Bia now hoisting it forward, and there's a flag up for offside. So on Seno. It's actually got a bit untidy, hasn't it, the last 10 minutes or so?
It has. There's a bit of needle creeping in now, isn't there? And that was a silly challenge from Busso. I don't think Seno's going anywhere there, and just defending the ball and gets a nasty wallop in the middle of the back. But it has got a little bit scrappy. Hopefully the second half will start as the first half did and really liven the game up.
Xhaka. Well, he'd committed the goalkeeper then. Kolivanov, who arrived at the far post. Tagliatella started to come for it. Thought better of it. And it's the corner to Foggia. To be taken by Stropper. Get daggered for the goalkeeper. And under pressure, he did well to palm it away, although I think the whistle had gone anyway for an infringement.
Yeah, he really whips them in, Stropper, doesn't he? He doesn't hold back on them. He gives them a gun and really blasts them across. I think looking for this man, Seno, he's a big chap for a midfield player, a very tall guy.
Just time to bring you a couple of goals before half-time elsewhere. Vialli has scored for Juventus at home to Udinese. And Ruben Sosa has equalised for Inter against Atalanta. This is Kolivanov now. We're in injury time at the end of the first half. Again, desperate defending by Napoli. Xhaka's header. Bianchini. Mandelli. Well, Ferrara furious that the decision goes against him, but I can't really see why. He clattered into him then.
This guy, Nicky, the referee, reminds me very much of Agnolin, who was a great Italian referee.
Shot from Stropper.
In his mannerisms, he's just the way he handles the game. He won't have nothing off nobody, and he's very strict. But you can see the more humane side of him as well. I think he's refereed the game very well.
There will be a little bit of time on the referee's watch to add on for injuries in this first period. We've had a minute now. Di Canio trying to wrestle free of his markers.
Don't know why he does that, Peter. He's got, I think it was Gambaro standing there, just wanting the ball, and he turns into 3 players. It's ridiculous. He is a very talented player, but he ruins it for himself half the time.
He's a frustrating one, isn't he?
Extremely frustrating. You can see why he probably fell out with Trapattoni. But I don't think Trapattoni would really stand for that sort of play.
Ferrara, something of a miss kick, though. And as far as Sado. Maybe Foggia's last assault of the first half. Nicoli. That was a perfectly timed tackle by Busso.
That was excellent defending from Busso. Great concentration. He's read the run from a long way away. A nice friendly pat there from the 2 guys, and good football all round.
So Foggia with the corner. It's taken by Kolivarov. Seno was the player down in the box. Dibari. No time to cross it in because the half-time whistle is blown by referee Niki. A game that certainly started very brightly, didn't quite live up to that though as the half wore on. At half-time, it's Foggia 0, Napoli 0. We'll be back after the break.
It's a spinning, looping archer all the way! Must be! Oh, the keeper saved it! Cheerful news if you use Mercury at home. Yes, tell Mercury of 5 people you regularly call long distance, one of whom may live abroad, and save a further 5% each time you phone them. It's called Your Call. These are my 5, including Cyril, who's off to live in Spain. Cheerio, Cyril. Then for each of them who joins Mercury, you'll receive a £5 Marks and Sparks voucher. I spend mine on some silky soft ladies' hosiery. For my wife! For more information on Mercury and Your Call, phone this number now.
Yes?
It's here.
Okay. I'll be back on Friday.
Oh, don't forget these.
Bye.
Bye.
The new Fiesta SI. It comes with a responsive fuel-injected 16-valve engine. Together with a driver's airbag, power steering, and an electronic engine immobilizer, all as standard.
Thank you, Nikki.
That's okay. Au revoir.
The Ford Fiesta. It's much more of a car.
Soothing, toning, cooling. Aftershave cooling gel, new from Lynx.
That Gladys Oldthorpe, she never buys her own.
Boddingtons, the cream of Manchester.
It's a spinning, looping archer all the way! Must be! Oh no, he's fumbled it! Goal!
welcome back to Football Italia here at the Pino Zaccaria Stadium in southern Italy in Foggia. Half-time, obviously, in our game between Foggia and Napoli, in time for the last time this season to race through the half-time scores on this, the 34th day of the season. Atalanta and Inter are tied in Bergamo. Atalanta going into the lead first with Orlandini. Sousa answering for the Milanese boys. Cremonese 1-0 up over Genoa. Dizzotti, the Argentine, getting the goal there. Foggia Napoli 0-0, as I mentioned earlier. Juventus 1-0 up over Udinese. Vialli, the scorer there, and that incidentally trapped 600th and last game as a coach in Serie A for now anyway. Lecce are trailing by a goal at home to Cagliari. Oliveira, the scorer there. Milan-Reggiana 0-0 so far. Roma 1-0 up over Torino. Balbo the scorer, and 70,000 at the Stadio Olimpico to celebrate that. And Sampdoria against Lazio 1-1 at present. Casiraghi the first to score against the team that everyone says he's going to be playing for next year. Then Sampdoria answering with Serena, and Hullit's last game for Samp. Now, one game already played from this final weekend, which was Parma-Piacenza 0-0, the result there on Friday night. Well, the second half in our live game, Foggia-Napoli coming up in a minute or two. But while half-time continues here, time to take a look for the last time this season at Goal of the Month, with, don't forget, a chance to win a trip to a top game here in Italy next season.
Yes, your final chance of the season to win a trip to Italy. Coming up, contenders for April Goal of the Month competition. Paul Gascoigne will choose his top selection from these. And if you agree with his #1 choice, you could win a trip to see a top Serie A match of your choice next season. Those then are goals of the month. Match up with Paul Gascoigne's top choice, and you could be on your way to a top Serie A match next season. When you've made your selection of just the best goal, drop us a card to Goal of the Month, Football Italia, P.O. Box 1881, London W10 6ZP. The first correct card picked out next Friday wins that trip for 2. Good luck. Oh, and we'll announce the winner in Gazzetta Football Italia next Saturday morning.
What are you doing?
Mental blockage. Unblock it with Trebor Extra Strong Mints.
Lots of work at the office today, love. Must make an early start. Won't be late.
Trebor Extra Strong Mints. For mental stimulation.
I can see clear.
It's
It's 100% Reggae Volume 2 with new smashes from Jimmy Cliff and CJ Lewis. 22 pure reggae hits, including classics from Shaggy, Bob Marley, Chaka Demus and Pliers, Shabba and Maxi Priest. It's 100% reggae hits with the sweet new sound of Bitchy McLean. Get ready to party with the all-new 100% Reggae Volume 2 from Telstar.
Bonjour. Et soif, vous acceptez ma toile contre une bière?
C'est joli, mais... Bon, ben d'accord.
Merci.
Hello, Mr. Thomas.
Yes?
My name's Kildare. Look, we haven't met. Yeah, I need a quote on... Oh, buzz off!
What? Bill Dare?
No, not Bill. Kill! Look, the noise is terrible.
Yes, here too. Call me back.
Right. Traffic's awful.
Can't hear yourself think.
Have a break.
Here you go, mate.
Have a Kit Kat.
Oh, it's gone quiet.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Thomas.
Yes?
Nestle Clusters. Crispy whole wheat flakes with chunks of walnuts, pecans and almonds combined in delicious nuggets. It's so nutty, chances are you won't be the only one to appreciate it. If you like nuts, you'll love Nestle Clusters.
Britain's most successful car comes in a variety of different guises, some of which may not be immediately obvious. The Ford Escort, it's got what it takes.
Welcome back to Football Italia at the Pino Zaccaria Stadium at Foggia. Just to explain a little further the situation with UEFA places right now in Serie A. As things stand at the moment with the half-time scores as they are, it looks as though Napoli will be going to take the final UEFA place. And as regards the relegation battle, that Reggiano and Piacenza, I believe I'm right in saying, will be playing off next week if these scores remain as they are right now, with Udinese joining Atalanta and Lecce in their trip down to Serie B. If, however, Parma do manage to beat Arsenal next week, then that frees up another UEFA place for Serie A, and that means that the winners of both this game, i.e. Foggia-Napoli, and the game at Roma in Rome between Roma and Torino, both those two winners will go through into next year's UEFA Cup. I hope that's clear. Anyway, time now to reconcentrate our minds on today's game between Foggia and Napoli in the company of our commentators Ray Wilkins and Peter Brackley.
Thank you, James. Yes, it's all a bit complicated at the moment. Actually, as we read it, Roma will be in a position of a playoff place against Napoli if it stays as it is now, and Parma lose on Wednesday. But so many permutations still possible. I think we'll leave it till later on. No goals here so far, after a brisk opening by the two teams. Certainly a couple of early chances for Napoli. One or two openings too from Foggia. And then it rather died away a little. There's a lot of ill feeling, I think, between the two teams. A lot of niggling fouls. And there's really been no shape to the game so far, Ray.
No, there hasn't really, no. Foggia, everything Foggia have done, and have tried to go through the middle at Napoli, where they're very, very strong. Bia has had a good game as sweep, and they're very strong through the middle. They've got to try and get around the outside and get a few balls across the face of the box.
Certainly no question that Foggia have got to go for the victory now, with Roma leading in their game. And Napoli, remember, a point clear of Foggia before the start of play, so that's still the situation. On by Stropper. Now Xhaka battling for it. Gambaro. He's had a good season for Napoli. Moving, of course, from Milan. On loan, that is. Here's Gambaro now. Teasing ball in, but no one from Napoli in the middle. I shouldn't have praised him.
No, it was nice football, actually. It was a lovely reverse pass from Fonseca as Gambaro kept his run going down the right side. But no one had been prepared to keep up with him and get in the box, because the ball he hit in, although he shouldn't have hit it straight onto the head of the defender, it wasn't a bad ball for someone coming in across the penalty spot.
On by Stropper to Kolivanov. Here's Stropper again. Foul, though, by Gambaro. I wonder if Gambaro will be heading back for Milan or staying on with Napoli. We'll have to wait to see on that one. Bresciani, who had a quiet first half by his standards. And Foggia will want to see more of him in the second period. Caini. Down by Bianchini for Caini. Bianchini again. Bianchini, another of the players who's come up from lower grade football to make his mark in Serie A. Cannavaro's challenge, which has left him writhing in agony.
Here we see Cannavaro's going flat out for it, and Nicoli actually comes through and takes the ball quite well, but I think he did actually catch his shin as he followed through, but I think it was totally unintentional.
Cannavaro's a hard and very determined young defender, being watched with coveted eyes by many of the top clubs. He's made outstanding progress this season. Let's hope this injury isn't too serious for him.
Yes, we've seen him play some excellent games, especially as a man-to-man marker. We saw him the other week against Baggio, and he had quite an exceptional match, and he progressed to the Italian under-21 side that won the European Championships there. And they really do have some excellent players coming through the ranks. Not the tallest guy, as you can see, for a central defender, but one of immense talent.
And they've won only one of the 7 games when he hasn't played for them this season. Cannavaro. On by Xhaka. Xhaka's touch again. Cannavaro had got back though. Seems to be okay now. Xhaka. Now turn. Looking for the run of Di Canio. Caini's pass. No lack of commitment from either side. What we want now is a goal or two. Here with the back pass. Dealt with by Italia. But not very easily. Here's Seno taking the throw quickly. Good anticipation, though, by Cannavaro. Too long for Di Canio. Down by Xhaka.
I think we've just seen the reason there why we haven't seen Bresciani performing in this game. It is Cannavaro, in actual fact, that is marking him man for man, and he's obviously done an exceptional job.
Ferrara, excellent work by him. Now then by Xhaka, who I think went for the ball but caught Ferrara. What a loss he is going to be for Napoli. Di Canio. Di Canio's shot. Now Stropper. Ferrara was in the way, just stood there. Caini. Down goes Mandelli. Foul by Gambaro. Kaini. Laid off by Mandelli to Xhaka, who has sprayed the ball around fairly confidently in this game. Nicoli. Seno had made that little run for him, but falls here for Jonas turn. Napoli looking to catch Foggia on the counter-attack, and they can't do so here. Can't really afford just to draw the game, Napoli. All depends on other results, including Parma's, remember, against Arsenal. If they win, of course, they will be in the European Cup Winners' Cup next season, and that will leave one place vacant in the UEFA Cup.
Yes, you would have thought, in actual fact, Napoli have weathered the storm, that they would actually be slightly more adventurous themselves. They still have left Fonseca up front all on his own.
Oh, Mondelli through. Was he brought down then by Italia? It's a penalty.
Now they're going to have to be more adventurous, aren't they? They can't really afford to lose this one, and there's a penalty. Mandelli breaking into the box. It's a good run from him. Yeah, and I think it was a penalty as well.
Well, he hasn't given the kick.
Oh, my goodness, that it looked a net penalty, didn't it?
Well, there was much confusion there. The referee appeared to be pointing towards the spot, but obviously was just pointing for a goal kick. I don't think the Foggia players could believe it.
Well, you get a bit of a clash there, because in the first half he booked Fonseca for going over and trying to get a penalty. Mandelli, I suppose, would have done exactly the same thing, but he got away with it. So it's a bit of a travesty of justice for Fonseca, really.
Well, that was a real let-off then for Italia, of the Napoli goalkeeper. Gambaro turning into Stropper. Now Xhaka. Is Kaini. Well, hopefully that'll serve to lift Foggia now in their attempts to find this opening goal. Kolivanov shrugged aside by Bia, who's furious with him. Well, the referee's not too concerned this time.
Yeah, Ferrara defusing the situation nicely. Bia's just using his body strength there, and Kolivanov goes over.
In fairness to Kolivanov, he wasn't appealing for a penalty. He wouldn't have minded if they'd given it to him, I'm sure, but it was never likely to. Fonseca foul this time, but the referee allowing the play to go on with Napoli in possession. Turn. Trying to get away from Stropper. In went Bianchini.
Anything goes at the moment, Peter, isn't it? There's a few tackles going about that we'd normally see fouls being given for.
Seno's very determined challenge. They back off him again to Mandelli. Caught by Ferrara. And away goes Cannavaro. Well, the game is up to notch or two. There's still no goals. Goals elsewhere, though. Sampdoria back in front again against Lazio. In fact, back in front for the first time. It's Lombardo. Lazio were ahead earlier on through Casuraghi. Serena equalising. Now Lombardo makes it 2-1 for Sampdoria. And a goal from Signorini has pulled Genoa level away to Cremonese. Cremonese 1, Genoa 1. Signorini, their defender, has scored the goal. Gambaro now has support from Di Canio, getting whistled by the Foggia fans. He's not the most popular man in the stadium. I don't think the referee is either, after disallowing that penalty a few minutes ago for Foggia. It's a pretty fierce contest, isn't it?
Yes, it's good, isn't it? We haven't seen a lot of goal mouth excitement, but it really is getting into a bit of a frantic old pace again, what we saw in the first half.
Certainly not going through the motions, that's for sure.
There's Di Canio, he's still having a complaint up Di Canio down the right side.
Rolled on by Turn. To Bodin. Here's Busso. Good turn by him. Haini with a header away.
It is a derby after all, Peter, isn't it? There must be a little bit of passion. They really are passionate about their football in the south of Italy, as they are all over the place. But in the south, they really do care a lot about their football. And this is a derby match, so you expect to see a few tackles and a few clashes.
Doesn't seem to be too much love lost between the two teams. Nicoli now. Running at Busso. He simply stood his ground and maybe a little harshly penalised.
He's worked very hard, Busso, down the Napoli left-hand side. Nicoli likes to get forward, and he's tracked him all the way, and he's worked very hard on it.
Salo is forward again. Bresciani in there, and Mendelli. And Bianchini has come up from the back as well. Kolivanov trying to curl it to those two at the far post. Just beyond them, though. Zaman, the coach of Foggia, just wondering where this first goal is going to come from. And just to recap, they really need to win this game, Foggia, to keep themselves in the running for UEFA Cup place. Xhaka. Now Caini. Slipped on to Mandelli. Caini again. Facing a packed Napoli defence. Kolivanov trying to wriggle through, but he's been penalised. Free kick to Napoli. Wonder how long now before we see the introduction of Brian Roy on the left of the picture as we look.
Well, at least he's warming up. That's a good sign for us, Peter. I think the game is desperate for someone like Brian Roy. Xhaka appears the only one on the field who's shown a little bit of composure to get his foot on the ball and slow the game down. I think the introduction of Brian Roy will give us another player who's prepared to do that.
He scored 3 times in the last 2 games, Brian Roy, but not in the starting lineup today. On by Mandelli. Now there's a chance brewing here. Desperate last-ditch tackle to deny Bresciani, and it was Cannavaro who got the foot in.
It really was a magnificent tackle. It was Cannavaro that actually got the flick-on header to put him in, but his recovery was fantastic.
Kolivanov taking the corner. The pressure stays on the Napoli goal. Up by Bia. In goes Bresciani. Nicoli. Quickly closed down, though, by Busso. Temper's rising again.
A bit of confusion again, Peter. Eh?
Passions are running high. Xhaka. We certainly have the feeling now if Foggia can get a goal, we've got quite a match on our hands. An hour played. Kolivanov. Here's Stropper. His effort, though, charged down by Bia. Gambaro. No, Caini was in first. Stropper again. Oh, lovely skill by Stropper. Has he taken it too far, though? The tackle by Parry. No penalty.
That looked a good decision. It was magnificent skill from Stropper, really showing lovely close control, but Parry got back and appeared to make a fair tackle.
Oh, mistake. Di Canio's in. He has to score. Di Canio strikes again. The coach, Lippi, joining in the celebrations. And I think they're going to go on for some time. Even the goalkeeper's there.
Must have ran a fair way to get up there, the goalkeeper. That was a very bad mistake from back in. He's trying to drag the ball back into the box and makes a bit of a mess up. Di Canio was nice and bright, just toes it away from him and walks it into the empty net.
Di Barry wanted him to come for it then, but the ball just wouldn't roll. Di Canio so alert.
It does like a celebration, Peter, doesn't it?
He's probably left the ground.
I think that's the only strike they've had on goal, in actual fact, Napoli, in the whole game. They've sat back there and allowed Foggia to bombard them a little bit or pen them in without creating anything, and they've just got that goal out of nothing. Very disappointing from Foggia's point of view.
And you have to feel for Foggia, that penalty turned down, maybe another one appealed a couple of minutes ago as well. Near misses, but now Napoli, certainly with their best chance of the second half, have snatched the lead right out of nothing, really. The goal from Di Canio.
I think we will see the introduction of Brian Roy pretty shortly now after that, Peter.
If it stays like this, Napoli will definitely qualify for Europe next season. The two teams who have already are at 2-2. There's a red card being shown there. Just giving you the Sampdoria-Lazio situation. Now, Bucaro, he was waving a red card towards him then. Bucaro, one of the substitutes, who obviously let his step get the better of him. And he's been given the red card while sitting on the bench, or presumably not on the bench at the time. What do you make of that, Ray?
Yeah, I think he's obviously spoken out of turn, and the referee sees fit to send him off. But tempers are running a little bit high at the moment. It's a highly charged match.
Just to go back to that Sampdoria-Lazio match, 2-2. And I think it's Signori who's got the second goal for Lazio. In fact, now it's 3-2 to Lazio, and Signori's got the third goal. It was Dall'Igna with the second. So quite a match there in Genoa.
He's had another incredible season, Signori, Peter, hasn't he? Like, scoring goals all over the place. And when you think he's missed a lot of the season as well.
22nd goal of the campaign for Signori today. The top scorer in Serie A.
That's first class.
And here in Foggia, Brian Roy is about to come on. He's stripping off. We're saying he's warming up. I don't think he needs to warm up in this temperature. But his introduction will certainly add a new dimension to Foggia's play. They urgently need a goal now, having conceded one in unlikely fashion to Di Canio. Di Canio's 5th goal of the season. He wants to stay on with Napoli, but a lot depends on future transfer transactions involving his club Juventus, from whom he's on loan, of course, to Napoli. So Brian Roy is coming on. Bresciani is the player going off. Hasn't had one of his better games, has he?
No, and I think you must give the credit to Cannavaro for that, Peter. Bresciani, we really haven't seen him. Cannavaro has really marked him out of the game, and he really does look an excellent defender, Cannavaro, and Bresciani's found it very tough. Let's see if he goes and picks up Brian Roy man for man and see what Brian Roy can do against him.
All shaping up here for a shot at goal from Xhaka. Off by Stropper, Xhaka's shot. It's a good piece of goalkeeping then by Italia. I wouldn't have thought he had too good a view of that.
Appeared to be going the other way, actually, Peter. Seemed to take a step the other side and managed to get back. It took a little bounce in front of him, but he still did exceptionally well to get a hold of that.
Foggia 0, Napoli 1. Xhaka's drive at goal, well saved by Italia. Busso.
Yeah, for the viewers watching, that is a tackle with his studs showing. He's actually taken the ball very cleanly, but in Italy, if your studs are showing it at all, it's a free kick against you.
The culprit was Seno, the captain of Foggia. Little injection of pace sent by Fonseca. Busso's made the run for him, hoping to just to leave a little bit of space behind him. Almost at the halfway stage in the second half. The game drifting away from Foggia at this stage, but I'm sure they're going to bombard the Napoli goal whenever they can now, in this furious style of theirs. And the game in the Olympic Stadium is certainly going away from Torino. It's now Roma 2, Torino 0. Capioli with the second goal to add to the early one from Abel Balbo. Brian Roy will be looking to strike at the Napoli defence from down that right side.
Got back to that scrappy situation again, Peter, haven't we? There's a lot of rash tackles flying about all over the place. Yeah, there could be a man with a bit of a calming influence, Brian Roy, once he gets hold of it, if he can get hold of it.
Well, he's had a good season for Foggia. He's won back his international place with the Dutch team, of course. And we'll be hoping to feature prominently in the World Cup finals. This is Roy now, just drifting past the tackle. Olivanov had slipped it out wide. Down goes Seno. All sorts of objects arriving on the field now. Bottles, I can see. The yellow card. Not for the chap who threw it, but for presumably the defender there. It's Baldin, who sliced away the legs of Seno.
Again, I can't really see where it's a booking offence, though, Peter. It was just slightly badly timed, and no one was hurt.
I think it was actually Busso who got the yellow card there. Baldin has already been booked. Oh, tipped over the bar, a Seno's header, and Latella just got his hands to it.
Yes, another good save, good header from Seno. But there you saw a little bit of quality from Brian Roy, sticking the ball on a Tanner for Seno to get the header in on goal.
Latella at full stretch again. And you're back on about your Tanners again. We had this earlier in the season.
Yes, I do apologise, yes, for the younger viewers watching. It's the old sixpence.
Many, many years ago.
Yes, unfortunately.
Well, it's an amazing game in the Luigi Ferrara Stadium in Genoa. It was 3-2, remember, to Lazio. Then it went 3-all. Bertorelli for Sampdoria. Another one from Signori now. And it's, what's that, 4-3. That's his 23rd of the season. Lazio leading by 4 goals to 3.
Is that a hat-trick, Peter, for Signori?
No, he's got 2.
He's got
you need 3 for a hat-trick.
Yeah. I didn't know whether he had scored one before him. Still a remarkable feat, isn't it? They can't stop scoring, the chap. There we see that the tackle going in there. He actually plays the ball. I think it's Paddy, and catches him again with the trailing leg.
Caini, who's inflicted a few bad tackles himself this season with his 4 sendings off. Not a bad tally, is it?
Yeah, it's not too bad at all, is it? I think he's got a bit of bout of cramp as well now.
Well, there's a shock developing at the San Siro. Esposito has scored for Reggiana, away to Milan, the champions. And if that stays the same, then Reggiana will escape the drop. They will stay in Serie A, so it's a vital goal scored by Esposito. We do get some strange results come the end of the season, Ray.
Absolutely, isn't it? You know, you wouldn't have given them credit, especially after the great result Milan had in the week. You'd have thought they'd have been really bubbling for it.
I think that will mean Piacenza will go down. Anyway, let's stay with this game. Kolivanov to Stropper. Again, that attempted outside of the foot cross from Stropper, which he has effected so well. Di Bari. Everybody taking the chance to come up now for Foggia as they pursue an equaliser. Jonas Tern to hook it clear for Napoli.
Brian Roy's going to be in trouble, I think, if he doesn't watch it. He's just had a little punch at Cannavaro, and I think it was in front of the referee.
As the man whose error presented the goal to Di Canio. Goalkeeper back in. Turn. Taking on Nicoli. who was not prepared to let him go past. Very excitable atmosphere in Foggia. Napoli defending the slender lead earned by Di Canio's goal with just over an hour gone. Around 20 minutes to go. Threaded on by Roy, but straight to Bia. Xhaka. Kaini's pass. Picks out Seno. Measured approach play by Foggia. Xhaka. Good turn by Kolivanov. Beaten away by Italia. Well, they've had their chances, have Foggia. Nicoli now. Another one deep into the penalty box. Seno wins it in the air. That's safely into the grateful arms of Italia.
That was a great turn, Bill, you're quite right. I think it was Parry that was actually, or Bourdin was picking him up, and they expected him to turn to his left-hand side to favour his better foot. But he didn't, he turned inside onto his right foot, and it was a good shot. He got it on target and made Italia make a save.
Down by Bourdin. Kaini on for Stropper. Now Kolivanov. Tremendous noise around the stadium. Still Kolivanov, the Russian. Spreading it wide to Nicoli, and oceans of space here. Now Brian Roy. Good effort too by Roy. And Italia with his body right behind it.
Yeah, it was a lovely turn from Roy, and a good shot in on goal. I'm sure Roy would really attempting to get involved in the game. He's already come in off the wing to try and pick it up infield. And he's got to be a major influence now for Foggia for them to get back in this game.
Brian Roy, who scored Foggia's goal in the 1-1 draw with Napoli earlier in the season, albeit a controversial one, with Napoli claiming offside. Fonseca. Well, he went through 3 of them then. The whistle had to go. And in the end against Fonseca. Kolivanov turned straight into Jonathan. The Swedes done well. Di Canio. Kaini now on the break for Foggia. Seno.
Yeah,
the referee's going to bring play back.
That's Di Canio booked that. I think the referee's had enough of Di Canio. But Di Canio, he had Jonas turn out on the right-hand side. He only had to roll the ball out to him. But oh no, he's trying to take people on again, and the referee's had none of him all afternoon. He's not letting him get away with this diving antics of his.
Well, he was having a go at the linesman then, Di Canio, claiming that he was fouled, and if he pursues his argument too far, he'll end up with a red one. The referee finding something to smile about at last. Di Canio, of course, whose goal divides the two teams.
Yeah, but we saw the runner turn there out to the right-hand side. He only had to roll it in his pass, and I'm sure Napoli might even have got a chance to have a strike on goal. But oh no, he likes to take people on all the time.
Xhaka spotting the run of Mandelli. This is Busso. Or rather wasted. .15 minutes left now for Foggia to save, and they hope win the game. Seno. Caught by Busso's challenge. Xhaka. Now Kaini. This is Stropper. Couldn't get through though. Oozing with skill, Giovanni Stropper. Can he provide now a telling cross from the corner? Italia came for it and had to get back quickly. Nicoli with the throw. Foggia pressing now for an equaliser. Nicoli again. Confronted by Fonseca. They back them by Seno. Here's Roy. Still they can't get through. Massive blue shirts back there defending for Napoli.
A few flutters there, I would have thought, from back in.
No, I knew he was safe. Stropper. Wrestling with Busso. Handbags at 10 paces. Stropper now. On for Kolivanov, who's shown some very impressive touches, but no real sharpness when it's come to finishing. Caini. Xhaka. Nicoli making a very good run out there. Back into the danger zone. Cannavaro. Sort that one out. Mandelli's shot was going well wide. Xhaka, no, can't reach it, turn. Here come Napoli now on the counter-attack. Fonseca. Seno for Foggia. Away by Beer, and finds Gambaro. There's nobody upfield for Napoli. Not to chase that anyway. Turn. This is Xhaka. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Mandelli. Fonseca. Now Stropper. Down he goes. The referee's given the free kick. Although I wouldn't think he was too impressed by the dive of Stropper. Kolivanov. Trying to line himself up for the shot still. Kolivanov. Just went too far. Xhaka. Again, Nicoli has found some space out there, but he hasn't been found by the pass.
He took a touch too many, Xhaka, and Nicoli was there, but he just wanted another touch to settle himself, and by that time the space was closed up by Busso.
And again, we saw Kolivanov just can't find that finish today.
No, he can't. He did some great approach work. That was a nice run from him, using a lot of pace, and he's prepared to have a go with either foot, but unfortunately, going at the centre of the Napoli defence, there wasn't really a way through, and his shot was blocked. He's kept at it. You know, he's not had the best of luck around goal, but he keeps at it. He keeps looking to get in there, and that's a very positive sign.
You certainly have to pay tribute to Napoli for all they've achieved this season. With all the numerous debts that they have, they still have to pay off at some stage. But they've battled on this season from being really one of the relegation candidates early on. They've now brought themselves to the brink of a European place, thanks to the goal from this man, Di Canio. Cross it towards Fonseca. Bianchini away. Here's Di Canio. Seno. Now, what can Roy do here? Napoli defenders have had time to get back. Xhaka sprayed wide to Stropper. Kolivanov. Able to get a cross in at all then, Kolivanov. Caini now. Still Caini. Maybe just saw a little glimmer of light there in the corner of the goal, which he was aiming for. I wonder what the support in the middle might have thought, though, Ray.
Yeah, he did ever so well, in actual fact, Caini. There was a lovely little dribble down the left hand. He feinted to go inside, and then at the last minute just dipped on the outside, and he was a little bit erratic with the shot.
Fonseca going off. They're sending on Tarantino, a defender, to replace him. So I wouldn't think there's much doubt about how Napoli are going to approach the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think we can see what his job's going to be. He's just gone and stood right next to Brian Roy. I think, obviously, his coach feels that Roy's the man that could unlock the Napoli defence, and he stuck someone on man for man.
And is that one of the last that Napoli fans are going to see of Fonseca? Various top clubs linked with a possible move for him. Milan, Juventus, Parma, Real Madrid maybe in Spain. But whoever he plays for, I'm sure he's going to score plenty of goals.
Oh, he's very talented, Peter. He's given us a lot of pleasure this season, Fonseca.
Brian Roy. Kolivanov to Stropper. Good anticipation shown by Beer.
Yeah, that's what the sweeper's there for. Lovely reading of the game.
Turn from Busso's pass. Di Canio away to his left. Here's Di Canio now. Back in with a save off his legs. Jonas Turn looked to be caught then in the penalty box.
Yeah, that's a penalty. That's got to be a penalty, Peter, that one.
Well, I wonder what he's given here.
I think we're going to get another one of these strange runs, because Turn actually knocked the ball over his head. It was a lovely piece of skill. I think it was Di Barry that pulled him down.
He certainly hasn't given a penalty.
It was an excellent pass from Turn into Di Canio. Very nicely timed. I can't see any other decision. That must be a penalty.
Well, maybe he thought the foot was high from Turn, but it didn't appear to be. Well, they've got away with it, Foggia. They're still in the game.
That's an incredible decision.
Stropper on for Mandelli. Good pass then from Stropper. Not quite finding Kaidi though. Thanks to the efforts of Beer. He's been very impressive again at the back. Stropper taking the throw. Oh dear.
Yes, I think we could say that sums up Foggia's afternoon, really. A total lack of communication there between Kolivanov and Stropper. They should have gone 2-0 down, though. It was an excellent save from back in. He made a horrendous blunder for the goal, but more than redeemed himself with that superb stop from Di Canio.
The European dream seems to be fading now for Foggia, unless they can turn this round in the last few minutes. Kaidi. Here's Mandelli. Xhaka seeking out Giovanni Stropper. Beer was there though.
Johnny!
Kolivanov. This is Kaidi. Bianchini now. On for Kolivanov. Xhaka seeking some movement ahead of him. He's found it through Brian Roy. Di Canio. Tarantino. Well, that was needless by Di Canio, kicking the ball away.
I think he's very fortunate, Peter, actually, with the mood that this referee's been in with him. He rather took a liberty there.
And he has been cautioned, remember, Di Canio already. Off goes Roy. Cannavaro is brushed aside then by Roy, and maybe with an arm in the face. Not getting much sympathy from the referee. Roy with Foggia's 9th corner of the game. Seno in the 6-yard box. Bianchini up from the back too here, but the referee will now delay the corner while Cannavaro presumably has some attention. The missiles raining down again from disgruntled Foggia fans. Didn't really get that good a view of that, but it did appear that Roy struck Cannavaro.
Yes, I think there was a few arms flying around all over the place, Peter, and Cannavaro appeared to take one in the face. I don't think he did really try to elbow him, but he's having a few words with Brian Roy anyway.
Here's Roy with the corner. The referee is still not happy. What's he saying, Roy? You speak Italian?
Yeah, but not that good. No, he was just telling the guys that the trainers hadn't actually got off the field.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't lip read, but that was what he was saying.
Oh, fine.
He just pointed across and said, well, the fellows haven't moved, so.
Roy's corner again. Just wide from Sado.
Another great pass, another great cross. You know, that is true quality from Brian Roy. And Sano's a bit unfortunate there on that near post again. He does make it his own little area. He gets in there and wants to score goals. It's a great ball in. A lot of pace on it. I think it was balled in that just got to give him a little shove that put him off heading it cleanly.
But this man's had an excellent game. Italia in goal for Napoli. He certainly saved his team on quite a few occasions. Now Sino wins it in the air, on from Mandelli. This is Kolivanov. 3 minutes left. Napoli hanging on to this single goal advantage earned by Di Canio's goal. Nicoli. Here's Roy. Now Nicoli taking over. Looking to go past Parry. Kolivanov. Back into the path of Xhaka. And that'll be no problem for the goalkeeper as Mandelli challenged. Clearly came off worse there, Mandelli. Busso. One back by Kaini for Foggia. Then determined work from Gabbro, which has left him struggling. Ferrara. Fouled by Xhaka.
Looked a class defender again, though, Peter, hasn't he? He's really had an excellent game.
Ferrara,
yeah, it could be his last game for the club, but he really has performed to an exceptionally high standard. Very consistent performer.
Tarantino. Another goal now would surely settle it for Napoli. Held back by Sado. Napoli not in too much of a hurry as the minutes tick away. Di Canio, the goal scorer, will take the kick. The security forces now lining up all along the ground, anticipating there might be a bit of trouble at the end. Ferrara's attempted clearance. Xhaka's given it away now to Di Canio as we move into the last minute. Still Di Canio. Well, the referee was only, what, 3 yards away, and he saw nothing wrong there, Ray.
Well, I actually thought that was a penalty again, but I don't think Di Canio's going to get anything off this referee.
Had to be a penalty, surely.
It looked as if it was, yes. He did exceptionally well to beat Xhaka, and then he took on Di Barry in the box, and it just looked as if he upended him, and referee Niki's having none of it.
Well, a late substitution being made by Napoli to eat up a few more seconds. Corradini is coming on to replace Renato Busso. Corradini, experienced veteran defender. Part of their championship successes in the past, Corradini. But I'm still staggered that wasn't a penalty a moment or so ago. Certainly plenty of points of debate in this game. Bianchini.
The referee's allowed a lot more to go today, Peter, than we normally see, hasn't he? There's been a lot of tackles finally, and I think he realises that it is a game of high passion. And he's allowed a lot of things to go that we don't normally see in Italian football.
Xhaka. Foggia still hoping, but not too long left now. Stroppa. Mandelli. Was Bondin's tackle. Now Sano. Hooked on by Mandelli. Trying to combine with Brian Roy. We're deep into injury time. Tarantino. Nicoli to Roy. Desperate last assaults now from Foggia. Roy's cross, just too long for Kolivanov. And maybe now Foggia's final chance has disappeared. Napoli are definitely in Europe next season if it stays this way. Roma will take the other place depending on that Parma match in midweek. The European Cup Winners' Cup final. Caini. Tired old pass then. And they look pretty exhausted, some of these players.
Yeah,
they've had the heat to contend with as well as each other.
Yeah, it was a tired pass, that, Peter. Yeah, he's a little bit cheesed off, that wasn't it, that pass?
Bianchini. Now Roy. And Piacenza and Udinese will be relegated if the results stay the same from other matches. More of that in a moment. It's a corner, is it? No, it's just gone for a throw. Well, he's made some controversial decisions, but as Ray was saying, he's tried to keep the game flowing. Can't say I've agreed with all his interpretations.
That's what makes this great game of ours, Peter.
It does, it does.
Spell.
And we've had our differences over the season, but I've enjoyed working with you, Ray.
Andrew, mate. Yes, we have. You give me a lot of stick. I have to think up some one-liners for you.
Here's Stropper. A really important victory this for Napoli if it stays this way now. A season that really was looking to be a struggle for them. Looks like ending in triumph. Indeed it is. The goal from Di Canio just after the hour has won the match for Napoli and earned them a place in the UEFA Cup next season. Foggia 0, Napoli 1. Vital, vital goal, and here it is now from Di Canio as we see it again.
Yes, that's right, the ball was knocked forward and it's Di Barry going back with Bakin, and Bakin did this several times during the game, tried to just roll the ball inside, but on that occasion, as we can see, just slips over, and Di Canio won't score an easier goal than that. Pretty atrocious mistake from Bakin. He'd be very disappointed about this. They'd been better off just clearing that away into the stands, that one.
Well, Napoli are now celebrating around the ground. Most of the players with their shirts off, including Di Canio, you won't be surprised to know.
He does love a celebration.
He does.
But it has been a remarkable season for them. They've had a lot of turmoil at the club. Players not being paid for months on end, and that could really get players down. My word.
There's not much more to come on.
No, there isn't, mate, is there?
OK, more scores to come in a moment, but first I'll hand you back to James Richardson. James?
Well, tremendous celebrations here, really, from both sets of fans in the Zaccaria Stadium. Napoli obviously won the game, but the Foggia fans celebrating, and the 5 years, the miraculous years that Zeman's had here as coach. He's leaving at the end of this game, there's no doubt about this now. He's been over the way to his old fans, and that's really the end of the Zemanlandia, the miracle he's worked here at Foggia. Well, anyway, that's the end of the season as well from me. We'll be back on Saturday with the roundup of all the games, but let's find out now what else has happened in Serie A with Peter Brackley.
So the other scores then. Atalanta have been Inter by 2-1. Orlandini getting the first goal there for Atalanta. Sosa for Inter, and Atalanta's winner coming 8 minutes from time. Sigro. Cremonese 1, Genoa 1. Dezzotti for Cremonese, and Signorini with the equaliser for Genoa. Juventus have beaten Udinese by 2-0. Gianluca Vialli on 44 minutes. Marocchi with the second goal on 85. Lecce 0, Cagliari 1. Oliveira with the winning goal. Milan have lost at home to Reggiana. Esposito on 71 minutes. Roma 2, Torino 0. Balbo and Capioli. And what a game in Genoa. Sampdoria 3, Lazio 4. Serena, Lombardo, Bertarelli for Sampdoria. And for Lazio, Casiraghi, Dalinia with an own goal, and Signori with 2 goals. So, looking at the top of the table, Milan the champions, 3 points clear of Juventus, and Sampdoria a further 3 behind. At the bottom of the table, who's been relegated? Well, it's Piacenza and Udinese then who go down with Atalanta and Lecce. Top scorers, Signori with 23, Zola on 18, Baggio and Silenzi on 17. So that's it then for today, and indeed for the season. The final Gazzetta Football Italia programme is at its usual time next Saturday, but still some issues to be resolved, with Italian clubs, of course, going for a European hat-trick. Inter, Parma and Milan could still have